Now, of course, in today's modern world, pretty much everything is run by one of these, a cell phone or smartphones. And even on most of the modern touring bikes today, you can get your phone to hook up to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto right there on your motorcycle. But what if you have an older bike that works great for you and you just don't want to replace it? Or you have a bike that doesn't have all of those modern conveniences? Well, you can still add Android Auto or Apple CarPlay by getting yourself one of these devices. This is the CarPlay Lite C5 from Autocast. Now, if you're thinking about buying this unit or something like it, I suggest that you stay all the way to the end, because I'm not only going to talk about some things I like about it, but I'm going to tell you some things that you need to be aware of before you go out and make that purchase. And as always, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get notified when new videos come out. So if you look at the box that this unit comes in, it says right across the front of it, Waterproof Navigator. But that's not really what this unit is. Yes, you can do some navigation on it, but really what it is an emulator that allows you to run Android Auto or Apple CarPlay from your phone on this device. So let's briefly take a look at the features of this device. First of all, it provides either wireless CarPlay or wireless Android Auto, depending upon your cell phone. And if you have an iOS device, you can do wireless mirroring via AirPlay. If you add an SD card, you can do multimedia playback. That is, you can play back music files or videos. The C5 provides 5 GB Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 5.0 and utilizes a chipset that is up to automotive specification. The Lite C5 is also waterproof up to an IPX7 specification, and it has a screen that displays at 1000 nits, which you need for great outside viewing. And according to the box that the unit came in, it also has a fast GPS receiver and a long working time. Now, as far as I know, the GPS functionality does not come from this unit itself. It actually comes from your phone. And as far as the long working time, well, the C5 unit itself doesn't even have a battery. It is required to be plugged into your bike in order to function. Now, if I remove the unit from the cradle like I've done here and I hit that power button, nothing happens. So even though I've supposedly fully charged this unit, again, it will not turn on. It will only operate if I have it in the cradle and that is hooked up to my motorcycle. Now, is that fact a big deal? Well, probably not for most of us. I mean, we're going to hook it up to our bikes and we're going to operate it from the cradle anyway. So for most of us, again, that's probably not, a stopping point from us getting this unit. It also does come with everything that you need to hook it up to your motorcycle. It comes with this nice cradle. It also comes with a ram ball mount style mount that you can put onto your handlebars, as well as all of the wiring that you need, again, to hook it up to your motorcycle. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about setting this device up or how to navigate around its menu structure. You guys are all smart people and you can figure that out for yourselves. And it really is pretty simple. They've done a good job of making this thing easy to set up and use. There is one thing about the setup that I do want to bring to your attention, and that is how the date setting is stored or not stored, as the case may be. It is April 17th right now, 2023, and it is 12:19 p.m. So I'm going to set that so it's all correct and then say done. Now you notice now my date has changed up in the display. That's all good. Problem is, if I shut this unit down for a second or two and then we reboot it. So if I come back to this screen after rebooting, Well, you'll notice that my date is now set back to the default. It doesn't keep the date. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, there doesn't seem to be a battery that I can charge in this unit. It has to be connected, and if it loses power, it loses that date. Again, that's a little minus in my book. Hopefully they'll fix that in some future update. Now, if you're planning on using the C5 as your primary navigation device, well, I got to bring something else to your attention. And that is that this unit does not itself do any navigation, right? All of that is done by the app that is on your cell phone. If you have a CarPlay phone, that is an iOS that has CarPlay on it, then you have access to things like Scenic, which from my understanding is compatible with CarPlay, and you can use that as your navigation tool. However, if you have an Android device like I do, there's not a lot out there that is Android compatible that you can do navigation with. About the only thing really that you can use is Google Maps. And while it's good to find things, point-to-point kind of navigation, it's not really good for the kind of navigation we want to do as motorcyclists, and that is find curvy roads. Right, on my cell phone, I have both the Rever app and the MRA navigation app, and they're both great little apps for your phone, but neither one of them, at this time anyway, is Android Auto compliant. I understand they may change that in the future, but for right now, you really don't have a whole lot you can use. So that brings us to the three basic things that I want this unit to do. And that is, I want it to be able to navigate, at least again, some basic navigation, point-to-point navigation, just like I do in my car. And also, I want to be able to play audio files, that is music, while I'm traveling and hear it in my headset. And I want to be able to make phone calls. Call my wife, as I'm driving down the road, or at least while I'm stopped, at a rest break. So those are the things I want it to do. So now let's see if this thing will do that and how well it will do those things. So first, let's look at playing music. And that can be done in one of two ways. First, if you have an app on your phone, like I do for SiriusXM, you can access that right from your Android Auto home screen and listen to whatever channels you have set up. I will say one thing about that is that you do need to be logged in to SiriusXM in order for this to work on your phone. The second way that you can play music is by adding an SD card and dropping on your favorite playlist. From here, there's something else though I want to show you. You can add a micro SD card to this device, which I have here, and then I've added some music and some video to this screen. So when you do that and you go into it, it's just going to start playing, right? Which is something I don't particularly care for. I would like to be able to select the music that starts. But I know that that's the way that a lot of these devices work now. Right, so another thing that's a little bit troublesome to me is that in order to search for songs, I can only do it by number. Right, so if I have 100 songs on this device, well, then I'm going to have to go in and find what number corresponds to whatever song that I want to play. So again, that's a little bit weird to me, but I guess it's something that you just have to get used to. Now, along with music, you can actually play videos on this as well. I stuck one of my little videos on out here.
Craig Ripley here. Welcome once again to Living Out the Slab. Now,
so, and I could play that right there on my device. Is that a good idea while you're riding your motorcycle? Probably not, but you can do it. So that's what you can do if you add a micro SD card into this light C5. Now, of course, to really use this C5 device, you need to hook that up to your helmet somehow, right? To a helmet communication system. So, and I have a Cardo Pack Talk here that I'm using, and I have it Bluetooth up to the Light C5 here. And the way that I did that is you don't go into the normal Bluetooth settings, right? There's a button down here that's called Emit BT, or Emit Bluetooth. And you're going to go there, and then you'll be able to do a search for any Bluetooth devices, and then you'll be able to connect whatever device it is, whether it's a Cardo, whether it's a Sena, via this method. So it's a little bit more complicated, but it does work, and you can hear the music and so forth. So let me just go back out to my home screen. We'll go into Android Auto, and we'll see if I can hear Sirius XM. And I can. Now, another thing that I want to check, I want to see if I'm going to get the navigation coming through my helmet speakers as well. So we'll just go here, and we'll just see if we can navigate to the gym. Okay, good. And I'm getting the instructions now. Excellent. So last thing I want to check is phone. Can I make a phone call, and can my wife hear me when I talk to her? So let's see if she picks up. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. I just trying that little AutoCast C5, and was wanting to make sure that it worked for a phone call. Okay. Okay. How about if I back away from the device? Does that help? No? Okay. All right. So you can hear me, but there's some background. Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's good. That's what I wanted to know. All right. Okay. Bye. All right. Now, one thing. I just made that phone call, and now it starts playing the music again. I turned the music off. I don't want it to play, but it's now playing music again. All right, that bugs me. Now, to get to that, to turn it off, I've got to go back like this. All right, and I've got to do that. And that's the only way that I can stop it. So, okay, so again, that's a little bit of a pain as far as I'm concerned. Also, my wife said that she could hear me, but I was a little muffled and there was some background noise and so forth. Now, of course, I am close to the device. My phone is close by. I've got some lights, I guess, going on in here, so that could be part of it. Have to test it again, in a writing type condition, but for right now, I mean, it works, but again, not 100%. Usually, when I make a phone call, again, with my Cardos and just a phone, she can hear me crystal clear. So that's a little bit of a concern. Now, here is one more concern to me, is that once I have my Cardo hooked up to this device, that is, they are Bluetooth together, I cannot do anything with the Cardo unit other than listen to the C5. I literally cannot even turn this off. I can't change it from Bluetooth mode to DMC mode, right, so that I can connect to other riders. So I just basically can't even control anything on this device once it gets connected to the C5. So again, that's a little bit of a concern for me. Now, if I'm just going out riding by myself, I'm going to be listening to music, making phone calls and so forth. Okay, no big deal. I don't need to control much on this device. However, if I'm going out riding with other people and I want to be able to communicate with them, well, then it's a bit of an issue. So again, that's up to you, I guess, on whether that's going to stop you from buying a unit like this. And maybe it doesn't happen with other communication devices. Maybe the Senas work better or something else works better. But right now, the Pack Talk just gets completely taken over. And again, I can't do anything with it. I have to literally turn this off, walk away so that I am not within range before I can even turn this unit off. So, okay, so I guess that's about it. That's an overview of this device. Things I like about it is it's really simple to use. It does a good job of giving me, Google navigation, of enabling me to play some kind of music app. Again, for me, that's Sirius XM, and it allows me to make phone calls on here. What I don't like is that the quality of the phone call didn't sound so great to my wife. It's not what we're used to when we typically use the Cardo units. I don't particularly care for how it handles music. That is, it keeps playing it, right? I mean, if I make a phone call and it goes back to my music, maybe I don't want it to go back to my music. Why do I have to go and chase down and, put it on pause? Yeah, I don't really like that. And I know that a lot of the music apps work that way out there. Again, I just think that's crazy. But they do. And the biggest thing is that it takes over control of my Cardo Pack Talk, and I cannot use it for anything else other than just communicating with the Light C5 here. So I guess it really just depends upon what you are looking for. I just want you guys to be aware of the ups and downs of getting something like this, the pros and the minuses. It only runs about $260, so it doesn't cost a whole lot of money and gives you a lot of functionality. So I guess that's my 2 cents on a unit like this. The pros and cons, good and bad. It's up to you on whether you think it's worth doing.